So my guest tonight on the show is a fun and cool person. He loves spooky games and he's recently released a mini novel, and also he's been on and off Twitch. We're going to discuss these and more in tonight's episode of Twitch Tea Time with my friend Matt, or he's known under the username MatZapGaming. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, in this space, we're going to talk about everything from gaming, Twitch, 2024 so far, his favorite games, as well as some mental health topics and more. So just grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy. There's a first question I ask every guest. How are you doing today?
Been doing pretty good overall.
That's good. So can you tell us a little bit, where did the name MatZap come from?
That's a good question. So I think, if I remember correctly, because my YouTube channel I originally created back in 2017 or something. So that was high school Matt, and I was a big fan of game theory at the time. So there's Matt Pat, and I kind of use that as a basis.
He stepped away from Twitch recently.
Yeah.
I feel that because my idol has done that as well. Call me Kevin. He only releases on Saturdays now. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where the name came from. The Zap part, I think, was just on a whim. I was like, lightning sounds cool, so let me just go ahead.
Fair enough. So can you tell us about how you discovered Twitch, how you decided to become a streamer on the platform, and how you and what content you chose to stream?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So as I mentioned before, I actually started originally on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was doing that for a couple of years, and then I took a big break because you had a better computer, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But as for Twitch, I had known about it for a while, but didn't really jump onto the platform in terms of watching it until kind of around 2020, when Phasmo kind of hit the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a friend telling me about InSim, so I started watching him, kind of got into that game, and then when I was doing YouTube stuff again, I was like, I would like to try out this Twitch thing. So that's kind of how that happened, and
here we are.
Here we are. And
as for the content,
as for the content, for the first year or two that I was doing Twitch streaming, because I started back in 2022, 23,
mm-hmm.
or no, somewhere around there. I don't remember.
Yeah. That's fine.
But for the longest time, I was doing Phasmo content, and then I kind of just felt the burnout, and then I just kind of realized I like Phasmo, don't get me wrong, but there's a whole lot of other stuff I like. And so I kind of moved into variety with RPGs, multiplayer games, kind of whatever.
Yeah, I've never seen you on anything else but Phasmo or scary games. Yeah. So you recently released a mini novel, if we can say that. How did you decide you wanted to write a book? It's not easy. It's not look, I want to write a book. But then you sit down like SpongeBob did in an episode, and he just wrote that's all he wrote. So yeah, the ideas don't come just flying by and I let it inside your mind. How did you decide on that?
So writing's always been a big passion of mine ever since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And as for the publishing, it was kind of I had a little over a year ago now, I had taken a creative writing class, and so I kind of had to do a bunch of writing for that.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, I just kind of got into the groove of writing short stories and just coming up with these different wacky ideas. And the one that I published was actually a story that I originally written several years ago that I kind of rewrote because
I was gonna ask you like what it was about, but like you redid the story. That's what I'm getting from what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like, what's it about? Can you tell me a little bit? Because I haven't gotten the chance to read it yet, so I don't mind. So I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. So it's called the Demented Vault.
Demented Vault, yeah.
And it's basically it's weird, like alternate history post World War One, I believe.
It's all fiction, right?
Yep, all fiction.
Yep.
And yeah, it kind of the alternate history part of it is that there's like after World War One ends, there's this huge like sci-fi level empire that kind of just shows up out of nowhere, starts wreaking havoc, and then it kind of tells about these kids on an island who find this mysterious vault, hence the name, and it kind of goes from there. So
yeah, but when you said kids on an island, question: have you played Kingdom Hearts?
I played a little bit of it. I think the majority of my experience was a DS game that was like a remake.
Yeah, 358 over 2 days. That's what it's called, I think. The DS version.
Something, I don't know.
Yeah, because that's what you reminded me of, like Kids on an Island. So that's why I'm asking, like Kids on an Island. That's what you reminded me of.
Gotcha, yeah.
The first one. So where's your book available, and like, can people buy it physically or digitally?
Yeah, so it's on Amazon right now. Just for $1. It's only in digital right now.
On Kindle as well?
Yeah, so I think how it works is it's technically like only on Kindle, quote unquote, but if you don't actually have a Kindle device, you can just on your desktop or your phone, you can just download the Kindle Reader app for free, and then you should be able to read it that way.
It's easy if you have iPhone, I guess, because it's like user friendly there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So do you remember what was the very first game you ever streamed? Okay, I know it might be Phasmophobia, but like, let's say after Phasmophobia, like when you got burnt out, if it's Phasmophobia, because I'm feeling it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I will say the first game I streamed on Twitch was
on Twitch.
Phasmo.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after I kind of got burnt out, I mean, I still do occasionally hop into Phasmo, but I think I want to say it was Cult of the Lamb, because I think when I was starting to try to do some variety, I was doing that at the time.
Yeah. I need to finish that game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't touched it since the big update came out or whatever.
Oh yeah, the Sinners something
Sins of the Flesh.
Sins of the yeah. This is I won the game at a raffle. All I did was just buy the extra add-ons, which were like a quarter of the price of the game. I was like, yeah, they're on sale, like $1, $2, $3. Add them. Yeah. So, what are your limits regarding your streams? Like, what would piss you off? What's the big no-no? What's allowed in chat? What isn't?
So I like to try to keep things kind of at a PG-13 kind of level.
Okay.
So I mean, I personally don't swear, but if people want to swear in my chat, that's fine. They can do that. Kind of getting I guess raunchy, to put it one way, is there's a level where it can be kind of funny or humorous, but as long as it's not then there's kind of that point where it's okay, they're taking that a little bit too far. So but
I swear a lot, but out of just for comedy purposes, I sometimes say son of a biscuit Or for example, like, or I switched them like Father Mucker or Mother Hubbard. Like I was so angry today. I was like Mother Hubbard. Like out of comedic purposes, yeah. I know I can swear but what games have you finished recently?
Because I finished. Actually, I think I have a list because I tend to like to keep track of that stuff.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Off stream because I do a lot more of my like actual like story playthroughs off stream. Actually just recently finished the Super Mario RPG remake, which was pretty cool.
That's on Switch, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then on stream, I actually recently finished Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Which
oh my god! I was lurking the other time when you were doing that, and I was like, you know that emoji with the spiraling eyes? Yeah, that was me. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? What's going on?
Yeah. For additional context, it was a randomizer where everything was fused.
I know what it is, but like you went a little bit like there were some cursed things there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with it.
Yeah. I know of it, and I like to just mess around with it, but I haven't been in depth with it yet. So what can we expect from you on Twitch and YouTube in the future? Like, do you plan on doing something different?
I think doing Let's Plays and the like will always be a mainstay. I would like to eventually do more stuff kind of like regarding like writing, or I've been trying to get into like making art, so maybe something with that.
Yep. There's a lot of like co-working streams lately on Twitch that's been growing like very fast. You can maybe try your hand at that, because my friend does that first, then she jumps into like spooky games. I'm like, oh, fun, you went from cozy to spooky. Yeah, so
nice dichotomy there.
Yeah, so what are your two of your favorite games ever?
Two of my favorite games ever? So I can easily say my number one favorite game is Final Fantasy X.
Nice.
Just love that ever since I was a kid.
Why 10 exactly? Like, out of all of them?
Yeah, out of the 200,000 Final Fantasy games, right?
Oh my god, yeah. I don't even like Final Fantasy, and I'm a big fan of Kingdom Hearts.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But 10, I think, because the ones that I grew up playing the most were 9 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just kind of the story of it, and as well as like the gameplay, and it has a very unique progression system, and they call it the sphere grid, but it's kind of like a skill tree thing, but it also includes just like the actual normal stat upgrades. And then you can also like go in, they kind of have like one character jump into like another character's sphere grid, basically, so you can kind of like mix and match.
Interesting. Have they redid this? Like, was there a remake for these 9 and 10 recently?
No. There's been like HD remaster type of stuff, but
because I heard they've
been
remaking games. I've heard. I think they remade the 14th.
They've been doing a lot of stuff with Final Fantasy 7. They're doing remakes of that
7.
right now. 14 is one of the MMOs, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
If they would do that.
Yeah.
Forget it. It's trying to remember which one's which can be ours, especially if you're not
I'm not that into it, but that's fine.
It's all good.
So the final question in this segment is to the new people out there who are just starting, who just started streaming or are thinking about it. What's one advice in your or opinion or something like you want to tell them? What would you tell them?
That's a good question. I would definitely say if you're gonna try to get into it for like you have to really consider the why behind you're interested or are doing it.
The reason.
Because if it like your reason behind it.
Yeah.
Because if you're going into it trying to, become the next like InSim or like insert other big streamer here,
Hydra, for example.
Yeah, Hydra. Yeah.
Was my guest was my guest recently as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. As of the day of release of this, the episode hasn't come out yet when we were recording, but as of per like release day of this episode, he has been my guest.
Gotcha. Makes sense. But yeah, it's like, if you're going into it to try to be like that, you have to go into it with a certain mindset of like, okay, actually, play the algorithm, all that wacky like terminology and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're going into it for fun, really focus on just doing whatever it is that you enjoy doing for the streaming.
I agree. Okay, so now we are gonna move into segment 2, which is a pop quiz, but it's more of a lightning round as well. So it's both combined. So do you mind telling me and the listeners what's your daily routine? Like something you do every day?
Yeah, so actually I have a kind of a morning routine a bit. And this is because I'm a Christian, so I read my Bible every day. Do some note taking on that, and then I do a bit of like a exercise routine, just kind of at home, some like home exercises. And then if I don't have any obligations at that point, I'm just on my couch, just playing a game. And then that's pretty much like my morning.
That's nice. Yeah. So what's your favorite comfort food of all time?
Favorite comfort food? I'm gonna have to go with pizza rolls. If
I've never had pizza rolls. Are they like any different taste wise?
From like regular pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely similar. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where not sure how to articulate the differences. I'm not a
like
taste
pattern wise. Is it like the same like pepperoni, cheese, those things?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of. I think what makes it a lot of or very similar is the fact that like if you bite into a slice of pizza, you're gonna unless you're weird and eating the pizza like upside down or something, you're gonna get like the bread on your tongue first and then like all the toppings and like the sauce and stuff, and it's essentially the same with the pizza roll because it's like I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's like a breading or something that's kind of like all around the thing. So
the crust or something,
crust,
the crumbs. I don't know what it's called as well. So since we're talking about food, like what's the weirdest thing you've ever tasted?
The one that comes to mind is, and it's not really I guess too weird, but I've done like homemade macaroni and cheeseburger pizza.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was pretty fun because I would sometimes do like homemade pizza things with one of my brothers, and so one time we did that. One time we did a double-decker pizza, so it was like just two pizzas on top of each other.
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
very fun.
So the weirdest thing I've had was snuck into my food by mistake. So mini squids
Oh,
in the curry, in curry. So I was like, "What is that?" My cousin was like, "That's squid." I'm like, "That's disgusting," but yet, why does it taste so good? Yeah, I don't know why. Even though I thought I removed them all, but yeah. So, if you ever were to be any object or creature, real or fictional, what would you be and why?
if I were to be any object or creature, fictional or otherwise, I know the one that I would want to be is a dragon because I'm obsessed about dragons. I don't know if dragons would necessarily fit my personality because, I mean, I guess they kind of would because they like to hoard things typically, and I also like to hoard things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the RPG player that never uses his elixirs because I'm like, what if I need it for the final boss? And then I go to the final boss and I'm like, what if there's another
Same
final
here.
boss?
I don't actually hoard things in games. I'm like, in Pokemon, you can see like I have 127 thousand money. Then I buy like 500 Pokeballs, 300 Master Balls, 500 Great Balls, 500 Luxury Balls. Like, I don't use them, and I still have like 400 left, and I buy more. So, yeah, I feel that. So, if this was the last day on Earth ever, what would you do, and how would you spend it?
Ooh, good question. If this was the last day on Earth, I honestly, it might sound a little weird, but honestly, I wouldn't do too much different from what I normally do. I would just try to make sure I'm spending time with family, just because honestly,
That's fair. Yeah.
as long as I'm just doing something like playing games or whatnot, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So what's your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve. The one that comes to mind is when you like open up the utensil drawer in your house, and my dad will do this for some reason, but he'll sometimes put the utensils like the wrong direction.
Yeah,
and, like upside
I know
down
the frustration.
and just like they need to be in order, man.
So OCD. Yeah, I have OCD brains as well. I have that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to organize stuff because, like, okay, this yellow is different than this yellow. You have to organize this. That's how I say it, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that frustration. So what's one thing you cannot live without?
Oxygen.
You got me there. You got me there.
That's a good question.
Well, to me, it's, most of my guests have said their PC, for example.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to keep my PC around, but I feel like I could survive without it, you know?
Yeah.
It'd be a rough life, but I think I could survive. I'm probably gonna go with my phone because I'm a Zoomer. TikTok me and
Oh God. Do you have that many following on TikTok? Over 1,000?
No, in terms of like making stuff on TikTok, I don't really like make.
You watch more.
Yeah, I'm just more of a watcher.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. So what's your comfort off-stream game?
My main go-to, and I mean it's one that I've streamed a couple times actually, but my main off-stream comfort game, it would be For Honor, which is not a very relaxing game, but it's definitely fun. So
I've never heard of it.
yeah, so it's actually pretty cool concept-wise because it's essentially like merging a like fighting game with like a kind of that like team-based shooter like Overwatch or something like that.
Oh, is it first person or third person?
So it's third person, and it's kind of like a fantasy realm, so like knights,
God.
Viking, and samurai, and you
So
only got
medieval,
weapons.
kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cool part about it is that it's got like just an insane amount of like cosmetics and like character customization. There's like so many different like pieces of equipment and like effects you can put on, or like emotes, or you know, a lot of things that are more unique to the game, like basically its equivalent of Mortal Kombat fatalities.
Fair enough. Yeah. Is it also like from the side, like the camera is on the side while they combat, like Mortal Kombat, or is it like normal? You can move the camera.
No, more move the camera, because it's like the main game mode is you're kind of running around to these like 3 different zones to try to like capture them and stuff like that. So
yeah, which of these 3 things would you give up if you ever had to? Money, gaming, or love?
if I had to give up one,
yep.
I guess I would probably go with. I think I'd have to go with money.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's the last thing you watched on TikTok? Since you watch TikTok?
That's a good question. What was the last thing I watched on TikTok? I don't know. I've been getting a lot of. I've been stuck in the cat meme hellhole of TikTok. So always something in that. Or there'll be this like one that pops up occasionally where it's like a guy doing voice impressions of like like cat or like dog videos and stuff like that. Does a really good job with it.
Yeah. So what's the weirdest habit you've got?
Weirdest habit I've got? I'm not sure. You got any weird habits?
Yeah, I can literally bark like a chihuahua. I'm not kidding.
Oh, really? Well, I guess if we're going in the angle of quirky things we can do, I can. It's hard to really explain it without any sort of visual element, but I can make this like pop sound off of my face with my fingers. It's like, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's something I learned from my dad. Which funny story. He was able to do like a whole hand of it.
Oh
like
God!
The pop sound off of
this
like heavyset guy's stomach.
Oh my God! Yeah. Yeah. So what would you do with $1 million? $1
million? Invest into stocks. No, I'm just I mean, actually, maybe, but not all of it, definitely. But I don't know. Probably would. I would definitely buy some of the things I've been trying to save up for, like getting a. I've actually been wanting to upgrade my PC, or like funny because earlier today my PS5 controller stopped working, so now I gotta get a new one. So being able to afford one of those things would be nice. And then you know, probably just save up the rest of it, honestly.
Yeah, fair
Until
enough.
I figure it out, sort it out later, kind of thing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, if you had one special superpower, what would it be and why, and how would you use it?
My special superpower, I think, would be to be able to make genuine money so that I don't have to work.
Like, actually, maybe spawn money? You mean?
Yeah, like I would be able to like just create money, like
Like, close your eyes, put your like fingers on your like side on the side of your head, and think hard, and then it appears. I can see you doing.
Exactly.
I can see you doing that. Mine would be teleportation, but teleportation shouldn't be for everyone. Like, you should either earn it or learn it. So there's one letter difference: earn it and learn it. Earn it as in like you have to prove that you're worthy enough of being able to have teleportation as a talent or superpower, or you could like inherit it from your parents. Because if we have like, if everybody knows how to teleport, you'd have like burglars every day in your house and killers and yeah. So what are some of your plans for 2024?
Honestly, kind of a lot of like, I guess adulting things, because I'm still like, I gotta get my like driver's license, gotta get a job, kind of like all that stuff. So those are some of like the big goals. Also just kind of get the ball rolling on some like the other projects that I've been wanting to do for a while. Like, we were talking about writing earlier, and I actually have a like a multi-novel series that I've been kind of like brainstorming for a while, and so
nice.
It'd be really fun to like get that off the ground.
I literally don't have time to write anymore. Let's say I've halted my novel 2 or 3 years ago. I've started them because it's like a 2-part story in 2016, I guess, over Wattpad, and I still haven't finished them. And I started I invented a whole folklore tale, like I created one myself. So I don't know which one to do, and I don't have time for it. And when I do have time, I'm like either sleepy or lazy. So
yeah, I feel you there.
Yeah. So the final question is, using 1 or 2 words, how would you describe 2023 and 2024 so far?
I would say I would use the word shift, I think.
Interesting. And 2024 so far as well, or something else?
Yeah, I think so far with 2024 I would kind of include it under that.
Shift Part 2.
Yeah, Electric Boogaloo.
The sequel. Yep.
Yes.
All right. Now we are going to the third segment, which is one of my favorites. It's kind of like a mini game. So I added a mini game before we talk about like mental health, maybe in the next segment. So in this mini game, I will name a set of 3 games each time. You will have to tell me which one you'd play, which one you'd delete from existence, and which one you'd play once and uninstall. You could just say play, delete, or uninstall. That also includes the whole franchise.
Okay.
So I always start with these 3: Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, and Battlefield.
Okay, I think because I've watched a couple listened to a couple of the episodes of this podcast, so I think I know which one that you don't like, but I would say my play one would be Call of Duty.
No worries, it's not
because of the zombie mode.
I'm not against the zombie mode, but like first-person shooters, especially shooters, just give me motion sickness.
Fair enough.
Yeah, which is why I was like playing a third-person shooter earlier. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's see. The other 2 were Counter-Strike and
Battlefield. Yep.
Okay. I think I'd probably go delete for Battlefield, Counter Strike, excuse me, and then uninstall for Battlefield.
Okay. So Apex, Fortnite, and Valorant.
Oh gosh. Uninstall Fortnite. Get that out of here.
Oh wow. Both JR and me are gonna just like say, "Oh wow."
No, it kind of became a meme on my channel that like we don't talk about Fortnite, but it's I don't hate it. I just don't like it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
The
so
other
Apex
two are
Valorant.
Valorant and Apex.
So I haven't really played either one, so I guess I would go probably play Apex and then delete Valorant.
Yeah. So you do like spooky games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say Visage, Madison, and Five Nights at Freddy's.
I think I would go with play Five Nights at Freddy's, because that's one I'm most familiar with. Probably.
Have you seen the movie though?
I have. I thought it was pretty mid.
I liked it. I've seen it twice in a row, because like my friends skipped it during the movie. Like I was streaming it, so they were like, I came at the. I'm like, I'm happy to like restart it. It's super cool.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a fun movie. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
But then yeah, I'd probably go with delete Madison and then uninstall Visage.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it?
I don't know. Some people say Visage, some people say Visage. I don't know.
It's one of those.
Yeah. So Phasmophobia, Demonologist, and Forewarned.
Okay. So I'm gonna say play Phasmo, delete Forewarned, and uninstall Demonologist.
Wow.
I actually, I'll be fully upfront and honest. I actually don't like Demonologist. I think it's like
uninstall means uninstall means it still exists. Uninstall means you have to play it one time and then uninstall it. And if it's a story-based game, you play it all the way through, or just like a little bit of it and then uninstall it. Okay, and then delete is like gone forever.
Gotcha. So all the delete and uninstall picks, just flip those.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now it makes more fairness because Forward is such a good game.
Yeah.
Have you played the update?
I haven't yet. I haven't gotten the chance.
It's in full release. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm not gonna say spoilers. I'm just gonna say like it migrated to Unreal Engine 5, and it looks smoother now. Yeah.
Nice.
So Dead Island, Left 4 Dead, and Dying Light.
Let's see. So Left 4 Dead, Dead Island, or Dying Light. I haven't played any of these games, so I'm going off of like the little snippets that I've like watched.
You can skip the questions. I don't mind.
Okay, yeah. I think it'd be fair to skip this one though.
Okay, so Dead by Daylight, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Evil Dead the game.
This is also one that I remember you asking other people in the episodes to listen to.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a game I'm anticipating because it's gonna. I hope it's kind of the same concept as those three, but it's kind of like fun. I hope it overtakes Dead by Daylight, honestly.
Yeah. That being said, I think my play option would be Dead by Daylight.
No worries. Yeah.
And then so uninstalls the like play ones and then
yeah, play once if you want, like just like one try as like those demos of 2 hours, and
Yeah.
then maybe you could play all the way through just one time. And play means like you can keep on playing it as many times as you want, and delete is like gone from everywhere forever to a point of no return. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think delete, I would probably go with Evil Dead and then uninstall Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, fair enough. So Genshin Impact, what's it called? Final Fantasy and Honkai Star Rail, because they're kind of like JRPGs.
Yeah. Gosh, it's funny because I like actually recently got into Genshin and Honkai, so I'm just like, I'm like,
I found them, they're like, I don't know, how can I phrase that? They're kind of the same to me, honestly.
they are pretty similar, yeah. I mean, they are by the same company, but
Oh, wow.
so definitely play Final Fantasy. And then I'd probably go with uninstall Honkai and delete Genshin.
Okay, so the Sims, Disney Dreamlight Valley, and the Palia or Palia.
The only one of those I've ever touched is The Sims, so I
Fair
think
enough.
I'm gonna skip that one.
Fair enough, fair enough. So Lethal Company, Content Warning, and Among Us, which are the same concept, kind of.
Yeah, especially Content Warning and Lethal Company.
Yeah.
Delete Content Warning. I don't want to ever see that game.
Have you played it though?
I haven't played it, but I watched it and I was like, this game looks so... It's like, what if it was the funny parts of Lethal Company, but then that was what the objective of the game was?
I don't scare easily. I just jump sometimes, often, but like if something really, like for something to really get me, it has to be intense, and that game had me on the edge of my seat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, as for the other two, I would go with play Lethal Company and then uninstall Among Us. I think.
Fair enough. Cyberpunk, GTA, and Saints Row.
I'm gonna have to go play GTA, uninstall Cyberpunk, and delete Saints Row.
And the final question in this segment is Dead Rising, The Mortuary Assistant, and The Walking Dead, which are all also supernatural.
Right. Actually, I'm not sure if I've ever heard of Dead Rising.
Dead Rising is one of those zombie games as well. It falls near like it's a third person thing, but like because Dead Island and Left 4 Dead and Dying Light are all first person, so it kind of falls under the same aspect of these, but it's third person.
Okay. Yeah, looking up, I actually have heard of it. I've just never touched it before.
Yeah.
So I'd probably put Dead Rising in the uninstall just because it'd be interesting to try it out.
Fair enough, yeah.
And then I think I would probably do Mortuary Assistant for play and The Walking Dead for delete.
Fair enough. Okay. So now we are at the final segment, which is the mental health. Today we are gonna be talking about, let's say, Matt's experience in 2023, because he told me like he experienced anxiety, he experienced depression. A lot of things happened in 2023. So I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna be like the listener here, and I'll let you tell the story from the start.
My live audience. But yeah, so I mean, I've really experienced or dealt with anxiety for a large portion of my life, kind of ever since I was like early teenager. Because I had that was because I had a lung collapse when I was like 14, so that was kind of traumatic experience. But ever since then, just been very just dealing with a lot of anxiety, and kind of all built up last year. And for those who've been following my content, there's a noticeable gap in 2023 to where I don't do anything. But it was around this time, more like May, it's about this time last year, where it kind of was like, it just kind of like all came crashing down in a way where there was just a week where I was just like, I don't want to do anything, I don't feel right anyway, all that kind of stuff. And so and it was kind of the culmination of a few things, because at the time I was and actually it's still kind of, in a way, I've been going to college for ever since 2020, and I've still been trying to figure out just like, okay, what do I actually want to do here? And I bounced from kind of just general ed stuff to accounting, and then I realized, okay, accounting's not for me, and I was like, just kind of like feeling like I was getting pulled in all these directions and not knowing how to handle it. And so I kind of started on the journey of taking anxiety medication in over the last summer, which that was a pretty rough time, especially because like the first anxiety medication they put me on, I had this like panic attack, and like thought that I was like, it was weird because I didn't have a seizure, but my body was acting like I had one, which was pretty weird. I don't know if there's like a technical term for that, but it was like just really a wild time. But then eventually I kind of was able to ease into the medication and kind of get to better handling like my panic attacks and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm doing better now, but it was like just this crazy wild time last year, to say the least.
Yeah, I see that everybody has had like a rough time last year, including myself as well.
Yeah. And yeah, I think another thing that kind of compounded onto all that was like a lot of spiritual stuff, because I think I mentioned it before, but I'm a Christian, and so I'm not gonna talk too much about that and try not to sound like I'm preaching or anything like that.
No worries.
But it was kind of like I was. There's a combination of like not really knowing where I like kind of placed in like, how much of a Christian am I kind of thing, and like, am I doing the right things? And it kind of felt like I was in this cycle of like constantly doing the wrong thing and then having to apologize for it, and then doing the wrong thing again, and kind of like just I'm not sure if there's a term for this. I think there is, but it's like, it's just like a cycle of like mental abuse, I guess, in a way, to myself. But since then though, that's been a lot better as well. It's just kind of like really leaning in on my faith and kind of like actually studying it, figuring out like, okay, how do these things actually work, So yeah.
So you also like sporadically stream, like every now and then we'd see like one or two or maybe like a spur of streams and then you stop. Is all of these are all of these events also a reason for that?
So sorry, I think I might be lost in the sauce on the question.
You say that it's like kind of a burnout, but like earlier you said like streaming is like a burnout, or you don't stream always because of like a burnout. But did any of these events interfere or like stop you from streaming, or like you said, oh no, like my mental health isn't doing that well, and then after a while you're like, do I want to get back to streaming?
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, certainly this like past year with like going through all the mental health stuff I did, there was just like huge block from like, excuse me, I think it was like June until like October, November-ish, where I just wasn't streaming at all, and that was mostly just to try to get back on my feet again. But and since then I've been doing relatively well on keeping like a once a week stream schedule.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like before I kind of was like trying to actually get a handle on my mental health, it was definitely like if I ever got overwhelmed, so usually like the start of like a new semester or something, or if there's like some other event that came up, I would just kind of I would either just cancel the stream for that week, or I would just like be like, nope, I needed a break, and just kind of like immediately shut down kind of thing.
So any final words before we end? Anything you'd like to say?
Nothing that comes to mind, but I hope that everyone listening was able to enjoy this.
It was very pleasant, honestly. It was very simple, very calm, very chill, which is what I aim for, honestly. I'm glad you were able to be on the podcast, to be fair, because go check out MatZapGaming, either on YouTube, same handle, right?
Yes.
Or on Twitch, MatZapGaming, which is gonna be the name of the episode eventually. Go give him a follow, go watch his content on YouTube, because I feel like he's more active there. But do keep an eye out on his Twitch, so you might never know when he might get out of the shadows and stream again. So and can you also, off the top of my head, are you writing like a longer book, since ADHD, distraction and stuff? Are you writing like a longer book, or is it the same length as the other one, since you mentioned it earlier? Or is it a novel?
So I'm going to eventually be working like fully committing to kind of like a multi-novel like series, but in the meantime I actually do have more kind of like shorter stories planned. I'm actually trying to work on getting one out sometime in May. Not sure if it'll be up by the time this episode goes up or not, but
it will be. This episode is gonna be well into May, because how I work with episodes is like 1 week I release Monday, Friday, then the next week Wednesday, the week after Monday, Friday, then the next week is Wednesday, because like I felt like releasing them Monday and Friday, then Monday and Friday, Saturday and Sunday, 2 days aren't enough for like one episode to have like its own right, like its own time. So I felt like it needed more space between them. So but it's a good thing that you're doing them like short stories, because like everything's becoming express now. Like everything's going fast, everything's becoming shorter, everything's becoming smaller, like songs. We used to have like 5-6 minute songs, 4 minute songs. Today we barely have 3 minute songs. which
it's
is
actually kind of sorry. It's kind of funny you mentioned that, and kind of it's like contrasting my addiction to TikTok.
Yeah.
Where the whole idea is short like bursts of dopamine. I've actually been getting like really into more like longer form stuff, so like more like kind of longer songs or longer YouTube videos or just these bigger things. And I think it's because I've kind of gotten, at least for me, I've gotten sort of like burnt out from the short stuff, because it's like I want more, and I
know like for example, let's say a song is very catchy, like, okay, so why is this thing a minute and 59 seconds? Like, I feel like it should be longer, for example. Like, I don't know, like, why is everything going express? I feel like we're gonna reach a point in life where songs are gonna be just 30 seconds long, which I don't think, and I hope this won't happen, but like, I hope not, because you cannot express yourself in 30 seconds, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing. You're gonna be also releasing on Amazon/Kindle as well, right?
Yeah. So for at least definitely for like the shorter stories, I'm gonna be kind of doing it on like the Amazon Kindle type of thing. When it comes to like the bigger like multi-novel thing, I want to try to get in a physical form. In some capacity, but we'll have to see when I come to that.
You're gonna self-release, or do you have any releasing company in mind?
I think it's mostly just gonna be self-release.
Like the printing and everything as well, because it's gonna be costly. So.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. How about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it in a because my novels, or actually I'm gonna release the folk tale first, but I want to release it under a format of like just like how you print stuff, and then you just turn it into or bind it, like binding a book, like binding a book, like when you put spirals at the edges and like have it like you print something out, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So I want to have this format because like it's easy, it's fun, it's I know that the books are different, but this is also can be considered as a book if you look at it in sort of way, because like I want to go out of the norm, so
that makes sense.
Yeah. Plus, with everything becoming expensive nowadays, you cannot afford printing stuff. And if it's all in black and white, I could self-print. Like, I could just buy like some ink, because I have a few printers. Or maybe even just later on, I would go to a shop, just print out a rough copy, see how it does, print out a few copies, dedicate them, send them over. Probably.
Nice.
But thank you for the time, Matt, and guys, I hope you go give him a follow, go check him out, and as I always say, take care of yourselves, love yourselves, and be kind to one another, and I will see you next time. Bye.